Hey everybody, welcome into Old Mount Bricks. We're back and we're here to work on our Lego city today. We've been making steady improvements here to our city as of late by adding in a lot more of this nice green brick up front to allow us to add some more vegetation, which we hope to do today. We've had some new sets come in, we've done some reviews on, so check those out if you haven't already. And we've got to find a place for some of those here in the Lego city. And I think we're going to spend a little bit of time taking a look at our nature area right over here. It's getting a little crowded. I'm not ready to do a full improvement like we did for our Lego beach here recently, but I think getting some of the things out of there or just rearranging it a little bit is in order to kind of make room for one of the new sets and just try and clean that up just a little bit so it matches the niceness of the rest of our Lego city. Alright, so let's go ahead and open this thing up. Just arrived from Lego. I think I have a pretty good idea of what's inside, but let's crack this big old Lego box open and take a look. Oh boy, let's see. Oh man. Alright, so we just built the brick cross train station, but the other ones from the next series just arrived. I guess we were a little behind. But we've got the camping adventure here. 669 pieces, nice by Joshua. Just a simple little set that's going to go like in our nature area. I think is going to look good. Nice little tree build and just a little camper there. But of course, as you know, we've been working on the Lego beach area, but we now have the Harbor Master's office designed by Rich Herbert. So looking at the back of that, yeah, that looks pretty cool. I'm sure it's pretty similar to the old fishing store. So I know we have that under the table here as well. So it'd be interesting to kind of do those side by side at some point, but we might have to add that in to our Lego beach area here soon. I'm excited to have another round of Bricklink Designer Program sets. Seems like they just stop coming and they don't stop coming, as a wise prophet once said. We still have another copy of the camping adventure, as well as the Harbor Master's office, but I think we're going to put that off for just a little bit there before we do that. I want to add the old fishing store before we add the Harbor Master's office, and we'll get to that eventually when we do another round on our Lego beach. You can see it's a little crowded underneath the table here of sets we're kind of planning on building here shortly, a few modular style buildings. But these ones, I think this one we're saving for investment purposes and the other one just for future use there. Well, we got excited and wanted to go ahead and build the camping adventure, so definitely check out that review if you haven't already. So some of the stuff we need to go through, we have the camping adventure camper van there. We've got the Iron Man mech and these minifigures over here from one of our bricks and minifigures hauls. So we need to find a place for some of those. Of course, we have the lifeguard we picked up, who is famous for his unique bathing suit there. So we were just going to put him right here on the beach watching out for everybody. We've got another lifeguard right by his truck over there, so that kind of covers a good portion of the beach there for us. Some of these other folks, like we've got like this space-looking guy, we'll just kind of put over here because we don't really have a lot going on, along with some of these other ones like this panda costume person and this guy here with the sword. That way they could just kind of add a little bit more detail over to this area that's a little empty and still in progress. But you can see this is the back of the nature area we were just talking about. The main things over here are the A-frame cabin and the Sanderson sisters cottage. But you can see all kinds of other little things throughout, like Magisto's workshop and some other trailers and type stuff in here. So let's see if we can kind of move some of this out of here that maybe doesn't belong. Alright, we've cleared out a few things there. We've moved the construction vehicles just over here for right now, kind of clearing up that area. I'll grab those other workers over there. These horses probably need to move as well. We've got a whole little horse stable in the back here, so we're just going to kind of put those behind the city for the time being until we figure out what we want to do with all of these horses that we have. But that frees up a spot, hopefully, for the little campsite. So let's grab that and bring that over. Okay, so here this is. So let's just plop it down in the middle just to kind of get a feel for it here. Of course, we'd like to detail the rest of it like the scene in this set. But again, we're a little bit away from doing that, but we're getting close. But I think if we just kind of position this over here with the rest of our campers, just kind of at an angle like that, I think that still looks nice with all the other kind of camper vans and trailers that we have over here, putting the big tree in the middle. The other thing we had was this like dog training site there for like the police, and I don't know what we're going to do with that at the moment. So my idea, it was kind of in the middle. We could kind of put it in that awkward section between like the Parisian restaurant and the beach area for now, and just kind of see what that looks like. The thing is with that, though, is it uses the green base plates on the bottom there, so it doesn't blend in as nicely. So you could maybe put it on the back of that area. I don't really know what that base plate will entail in the future, because there's going to be a modular building there, and either a modular building there or just more green space. So we'll just have to see what the city holds for us in the future. All right, and just a little bit better, we've brought over the construction guys, set up the police training, and we still have enough space in here that kind of gives enough room for our campsite folks there. We've also decided to put the little avatar flying thing right up here for now, and we'll see what that looks like from the front in just a moment. But just need to check on the rest of everybody over here. Everything is looking okay. We've got the big Lego truck back here. Some of the other food-related things like the slushy truck and all that, just helpful to get things back in order. Our Avengers folks, again, that's going to be one of our mocks we plan to do here shortly, but they just live in the back of the city for now until we get there, but overall looking okay this way. And of course we've got the new Ultron to place, along with a couple of Buckies down here and that Iron Man mech. So let's see if we can find a nice place for them. Okay, we put Ultron front and center. We've got the Iron Man mech on top of the Ghostbusters HQ. We've got a Bucky over there, and the other Bucky helping out Cap right over here with the Red Skull. So all of that kind of makes sense to me. That just leaves old Magisto over here. I think he's going to just have to be retired for the time being until we find another place for him somewhere in the city. So we'll put him with all the other stuff we don't know what to do with right now. There's this little area right over here, kind of with some of the other little dioramas that we have, like the Spider-Man thing and the Return of the Jedi diorama. This looks pretty good from this angle as well. Of course, a lot of the details on the front of that camper, but I think it still looks good. You can see them roasting their little fire right there, and you can see the tree, and that big tree in the middle just adds a nice little bit of detail for that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some detail to the section we worked on in the last LEGO City update, where we added all of this green brick and plate, extending the front part of the city. So we're going to add some vegetation and some other miscellaneous plate. I normally sort my Lego by part type, but this is the only one I sort by color. Long members of the channel here will realize anytime I get, especially like used pieces, I always look for green for things like this that come with some different shapes, whether it be like this bigger plate or just wedge pieces or just simple 1x2s. That'll help add detail. Similar to what we did over here, just adding a little bit more depth to it rather than just flat to make it just a little bit better. But I'd like to redo all of this at some point, so I don't know if we'll go too crazy here, but at least a little bit, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, you can see some of the difference that we just made there. It just gives it a little bit more height and texture to allow for just a more interesting green space. Of course, we're going to cover it now with like leaf pieces and stem pieces to give it even more detail there. But this is kind of the basic foundation in order just to raise it up a little bit, make it a bit more interesting. Again, just kind of like we did over in this section. So let's go ahead and break out some leaves and go ahead and keep detailing. All right, would you look at that? Just seeing a little bit of pieces put into it. The more pieces you can put into something in Lego, most times the better here. So you can see the comparison. I haven't done this section yet here, but you can see what we were able to do just over here, adding just so much more detail up front, similar to what we've done already in this part over there. But just adding that just gives the front of the city, the face of the city, just a nice look to it. Just adding those details just really starts to bring a Lego city to life, and that's what we're aiming for here. We'll probably save the next part for a little bit later as I think about this some more, because I don't know if I want to do this everywhere, and I do want to add actual trees at some point. For now, I've just kind of added a few stumps here and there from where trees used to be. I've got like the pre-molded trees built in and such, but maybe we'll do a little bit more with that in the future. But I think what we were able to accomplish with this just takes the city to the next level and just really starts to bring together some of the details we've been wanting to work on. The last thing we need to do when you make improvements like this is you need to boot up the train just to make sure there's nothing overhanging. There might be a few issues here, so let's go ahead and have the train come out of the station. It's over right here in the old train engine shed, just slowly moving right along here. Let's just see if it hits anything. Yeah, you can hear it hitting. So let's back up just a little bit, see what's going on. Yeah, see, it looks like it hit, yep, that right there. So let's move you. But now the logs are falling off, so hold on. Hold on, guys, hold on. A little better. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's a little bit more speed here. And not all trains are created equal there because they just have different engine lengths and sides, and like the logs getting caught on stuff or some of these little pieces that happen like on this crane here just makes it a little bit more difficult. So I stick to one train at the moment. I've got a couple more under the table I hope to introduce into the Lego City in the near future, but I think this is working pretty good for now. So let's do one more lap around now that I think we've got it fixed up there. Now that we've made some improvements over in the nature area. And kind of with the construction there, the new thing right up on top. A few changes in the back, adding in more minifigures, of course. And the train makes it all the way back around. So a successful day here in the Lego City. But I think that will do it for today, so make sure you like the video on the way out. Comment down below what you think of the Lego City updates, or if you have any suggestions. Of course, subscribe to Old Mountain Bricks for even more content coming your way. Until next time, thanks for coming by. Have a good one.